Morning, guys. Morning, morning. Um, yeah, sorry, I just went to. Oh, hold on. Webcams. There we go. So yeah, l trade taken was basically. I'll just show you quickly. The reason I just left the room was to get a coffee. We had resistance here. We had a nice candle with a big wick that broke and closed above. The next candle wicked down, bought the flip. Didn't exactly get the best fill. Got slipped a couple of pips. And just seeing if we can run it into the daily flip. So the daily flip will be when we break the high of the current daily candle. You can see I've got another TP sat just underneath recent daily resistance. And then to be fair, we can look to run this anywhere up there should we stay in the trade. But the thing I'm looking for now is if we can get the daily flip. So who's in this morning? Morning, Rich. I don't expect everyone to be in until maybe 7 o'clock. So, but I have been getting a few trades recently over the last few weeks in and around 5:30, 6 a.m. So I am making sure I'm in front of the charts early these days. So I think if there's no trades on for you guys, definitely look at the daily flip. Other one that was looking quite tasty was the DAX, but DAX spreads. Morning, Simon. How are you, mate? I'm in an hourly flip long after this candle here, closed above this resistance. Frankie, hi, mate. I'm sorry, I'm already T1 and in the money. Um, so I think the next opportunity is going to be the daily flip. So this broker has a very different top wick to what I'm seeing, let's say, on TradingView with Oanda. So check your broker. Quiet. Shouldn't be quiet. Mike's on full whack. I think you're just used to the concert last night, maybe. The volume was, your ears are ringing after birthday celebrations. Anyone else think it's quiet? That's better. I'm not going to make a comment. Thanks, Rich. So look, daily flip. Check your broker because if you've got a wick like this on the daily candle, maybe it's a bit too big, but it's definitely looking good for turning positive. If you look at how the market's moved lower, look at this big wick down. The last few days creating big wicks down. I would suspect we could get a push up, come back to tap these highs before we either break and push up again, or before we come down and finally start to move a little bit lower on gold. But I moved my mic. Ah, you must have the most sensitive ears on this planet, Frankie. There we go. Um, so DAX was looking quite tasty this morning, but I'm not going to do anything with the DAX until after 7 a.m. So if we see here, support level, this one broke and closed below. There was no wick up here, so I wouldn't have taken it unless, nah. But there was 50 points down to these wick lows here and hourly support. So there was opportunity, but I opted for gold this morning, which looks like it was the right decision at the moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let's bring this. up underneath that low, and we'll see if we can run it. So, what's my second TP is in at 66 pips, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna trail it with price action. 29.14. I think I'll put another TP in there actually. So just below here. Well done, Frankie. Literally, man just shows up and banks more pips. What's this? The birthday celebration continues into the weekend. Giving Anna a run for her money now. Yesterday, she literally just walked in and said hello and placed gold, and next thing you know, we're all at TP1. So, and anyone else take the daily flip? Oh, look at that. There we go. Nice 40 pips for TP2. There we go. Daily target's done. $580 in the bank. Uh, let's just, we can adjust that to there. So we got, so look, if price was to come back to my stop loss now, we're going to bank $680 for the morning. So we're done. So guys, did anyone take the daily flip? Is anyone in the daily flip? Because my broker's slightly different, but the one I'm seeing on TradingView, if you'd have taken the daily flip, you should have got some nice pips. If not, then we had a break and close above using the 15 here, and there was 27 pips up for grabs there. So even to the structure point, you got 20 points. If you wanted to go to the resistance, 10 points. Anyone take anything there on gold? Look at that. Come straight into that structure point. Let's see what happens. See if it sells off, or can we create a wick to work with maybe? We've got only 25. We've got 25 minutes to wait for this candle to close, so there's not a lot we can do in that instance. So if you're going to wait for the 30, you've got 25 minutes to wait. Let's have a look at the 15. Does anyone trade 15-minute flips in here, or are you just 30 and the 30 and above? Let me know what you trade. Took the daily flip, got 10 pips, but the TP and break even didn't. Okay, so it missed because of spread. Basically, you got 10 pips, but the ask price got to 10 pips, but you need the bid price to get there. So you're still in the trade, Rich? Now, so you're gonna. So I started all my positive manifestations, etc. Again, and good habits. Probably about, I don't know, three, 4 weeks ago. Was this on TA, trade assistant? So I've got a thing at the minute, guys, where with magic keys, every time I place an order, a pending order, as soon as it triggers, if I've placed a partial TP, they disappear every time. So I'm going to restart my PC after this because I leave it on sleep. Um, so I don't know if that's something to do with it, but we'll see because literally every partial TP I place, as soon as the trade triggers, it disappears and I have to replace it. Cheers, good morning. So I've banked T1 at 15 pips today and T2 at 41 pips. So we're now just seeing if it can run. We have uh, six, $680 locked in for profit this morning based on where the stop loss is. Um, I think Frankie's hit 10 pips, Rich hit 10 pips, but it didn't quite uh, close using TA. Uh, okay, so that's all right. 7 pips down. We're gonna get back up there, and so if you're 7 pips down, you'd be maybe nearly at entry price now. Who else have we got in this morning? Let me know who's in. I know Lola's in. I know Simon's in. Frankie, Rich, Shias. Who else is here that I don't that hasn't said hello yet? One, two, three, four, five. There's a few in. It's amazing. I ask who's in and say hello, and people leave. Morning, Prem. How are you, mate? Do you want me to send you a coffee up, pal? Dear. So yeah, nice little trade sitting on gold at the minute. I am going to do a session today at 1 o'clock on YouTube because I want, especially for back in the day when I first started, let's say, what would it be? 2009, November 2009. Literally, all I ever used to hear was, "Don't trade them." Some breakfast as well. Yeah, no worries. On its way, buddy. My good lady's in the kitchen, slaving away for me, as if. Yeah. Um, so yeah, all everyone used to say was, "Don't trade non-farm payroll. Don't do this. It's dangerous. It's volatility." Now I look at it as opportunity. Okay, I don't actually trade the news. I trade after the news. So I let the news come out, good or bad or indifferent or as expected. I don't care. What I'm looking for is that volatility. I'm looking for the market to pierce and smash through levels and then either continue or reverse back to where it started. And the decision we make will be based around the price action that's created. So non-farm payroll, great. The only thing that I would say is you have to be careful of spreads. And the other thing that you'll see out there, there's a lot of people that will just, especially when they're live streaming as well, you be careful of this. They'll have a buy order and a sell order above and below the current candle. And this could be a 30-minute candle, it could be an hour candle. They'll have a buy and a sell order above and below the high and the low of the candle that's just closed on the 30 on the basis that the market's going to break one way or the other. Now, one thing that happens at any major news announcement, spreads widen massively. The market's likely to fill you at a price that you don't want to enter at. So that's just lottery, guys. You're going to get gapped or slipped massively, so you're going to get a real shitty fill. Then you've got to try and manage that trade, and you've got in at crappy spreads as well. So instead of putting yourself through the mental stress of going, oh God, right, I got shit fill. How do I get out of this? Just let it happen. I'll come to that one in a second, Frankie. You got 3 minutes for that. So yeah, opportunity is created around volatility. Um, it doesn't necessarily mean there'll be a trade, but it probably means we can create something. Yeah, and listen, you can have a late start today, up 5.9% for the week. You're entitled to have a little lay-in. So how's so the I mean the how's the new account coming, the bigger incubator? Are we sitting pretty on that one? Are we if you've done 5.9%, we must be because you're already a few percent up. Are we nearly halfway there yet? So you'll be two on the 10K now, won't you? Because your 5K account has just gone up 20x now after getting a payout. You're 6.7% up on that one. Let's go, Anna. Let's go, Anna. And let me know when once your new account comes in and it's been increased by 20x. Oh, so uh, the DAX. Now, unfortunately, guys, because of the trade, there was a daily flip here, but I entered unfortunately just about 10 past 6. So look, what I'm going to show you is this. This is what happened. So we've got support here, we've got resistance here, big wicks down. Then finally we got a candle that closed above the resistance. If you look at this candle here, we got 30 pips available on the wick. This one then came down, tapped the old resistance level, and then as it broke through its own high, that's when I bought. So there was opportunity, let's say. Oh, Frankie, you asked about the 15. Um, how are you wanting to trade it? You could look at there's 16 points to the next level on the 15. So again, if this one flips, you could look to trade it for 10 pips. That's if you like to trade 15-minute flips. I'm not. I'd rather look at something a bit higher time frame, but look, it's a valid setup. And I'm not going to add into this one today. Um, I'm going to sit tight because I feel like I've got about as good an entry as I could get. I've just moved my stop underneath this low. If price comes back, stops it out, then so be it. I'm done. I will look at opportunities this afternoon through non-farm payroll. Um, maybe at 7 o'clock if we get an opportunity on the DAX, but I'm not. I think the DAX we're going to wait now because we're coming down here at 23,040, which is a good sort of like 100 points away. If we get buyers step in here, this would be a nice little place to buy. Or if we get a close below and a wick up, then we could look for maybe a continuation sell. Um, but yeah, as I mentioned when we first started, there was an opportunity here to sell. As price closed below, there was 50 points down to these lows, but I just didn't like it with the spreads being so high before 7 a.m. So here we go. Now, to be fair, if you place a buy stop above the high of this candle, the likelihood of getting triggered is quite low. But if it respects here and reverses, the likelihood of you getting TP1 is going to be quite high. So I just want to have a look at something. I'm just putting a buy stop here, and I'm just going to see where 10 pips is. 29.1386, so 29.14.86. Okay, 29.11.4. All right, so I've actually placed that, guys. So I've just placed that. All I'm doing is 10 pip target on this one, all out at 10 pips. And I will be doing 70%. I'm going to put in the 70% rule. So you know what the 70% rule is, guys? Tell me what the 70% rule is. Ooh. In fact, the hourly flip might be even better. The hourly flip could be better. Hmm. That's it, Anna. Move stops to break even when 70% to target. So if your target's 10 pips, at 7 pips up, move your stops to break even. Now you have to decide when in your trading plan when you're going to use things like the 70% rule because you don't want to use it in every instance. So when would be the best times to apply something like that? When do you think the best time to apply something like the 70% rule would be? I'm going to ignore the hourly. I'm just going to look for this one. So give me some scenarios when you would look to use the 70% rule. Oh, full. Do you know what's even worse? That's unlucky, Rich, considering you got to 10 pips. That's yes, when risk is high going against the trend. What? Oh, that just confused me then. Okay, so there we go, guys. We've done $682 for the morning. Right, let's cancel this order now. So that's it. We are, and I've just won 12 quid on the postcode lottery. Unbelievable. Yeah, so against trend, give me another scenario. So against trend is probably the best uh, scenario to apply using the 70% rule. What about something else? All right, let's go back to trading view now because it's all looking a bit clustery over there. Close to news. Okay, yeah, good idea, Frankie. Um, so, Rich. So this is something for you all to consider, especially if you're watching something, right? If you get to, let's say, 9.5, 10 pips, and for whatever reason the software, the spread doesn't take you out, that's a winning trade, right? So never ever let it take you out for a loss. Just drag your stop up. Make sure you don't lose on that trade. Because in theory, in your mind there, Rich, you've won that trade, and for whatever reason, the software, the broker, something didn't take you out. It didn't trigger, and you didn't close half or 70% or uh, you whatever your um, partial take profit percentage is. It didn't happen for whatever reason, but you did get 10 pips up. This is where, you know, manual override. This is where like systems, EAs, and things like that, okay, they're good, but if we're there in front of the screen, make sure um, we override in those instances. So going back to when else to use the 70% rule. So another scenario would be like myself there. So adding into a trade, we decide that the market, we've got what we think is a great entry, and we're looking to capitalize on maybe a little bit more movement to the upside. Um, but yet, as it's an add-in trade, that means it's further away from our initial entry point. So the further we get away from our initial entry point, the lower the probability of success. It's like an elastic band. The further it expands, the further it moves away from starting point, the lower the probability it's going to continue going, right? Eventually, it'll have to go back to reset. So always remember, the further you get away from structure, the lower the probability of success. So every trade you want to try and do, you want it to be as close to structure as possible. Right. So NFP today, what's happening? So I'll put this here, but there's really no point. So we've got daily resistance in at 29.19. We're just going to take, oops, little adjustment to here. Now, okay, that's fine. So we have, what's there, like 60 pips between here and here, so that's okay. Let's drop to the hourly. Right. This support level comes in sooner, and we could look to sell below there. Resistance, we're just going to pop up to here. Let's drop another one in here. So this is looking a little bit horrendous now. Definitely caught it at the right time. Sorry. Just like an oven in my office right now. Just had to turn that off. Uh, time. Oh, it's H4. Thought it looked different. Um, resistance in here. Yeah, I'm I'm gonna sit out of trades on gold now in this area by the looks of it. Yeah, is very. The only one that you could take is that 15-minute flip that I told you about here. That's the only thing that I quite like. And I would just go for 10, max 15 pips. Um, what I'd wait for as well, it's basically going to be the same entry. I'd want this to close somewhere in this region. You've got 3 minutes left, so I'd probably wait for the 15-minute candle and the hourly to close. It's always a bit, as you get a new candle opening, it can be a little bit jumpy. So I'd wait for this candle to close. Um, I'm not going to take another trade this morning. I don't want to tempt fate. Uh, let's just have a quick look at. Did anyone take the Kiwi trade that I mentioned the other morning? I said buy now. Look where it went. 2 days straight to target. Nice 3.2%. Shears, you took it, didn't you? But I bet you closed out early. Did you close out early? You took which one? You bought when I said here, yeah? As it broke the high? Yeah, at the end of the day, profit's profit, but sometimes if you see a huge daily candle and it's abnormal size to the rest of them, there's nothing wrong with closing. Okay, so don't worry about taking profit, guys. I understand. Uh, DAX. So look, let's go DAX. Sell below 23,081. Buy above 23,261. Now remember, guys, everything that I'm doing, you see me doing it live, so this is me trading for me. And then if you're looking at this from an educational standpoint on how you can maybe apply similar concepts to the market, it's fantastic. But this isn't financial advice, guys. It's just what I do on a daily basis and how I look to try and uh, take advantage of market opportunities through reading price action. Uh, H1 on gold is setting up, Anna, as you mentioned. So let's have a look, see how many pips you have. There's about 11 or 12 pips there. So for those of you that want to take on the gold trade, I'll show you what it would look like. Um, so literally, you're just going to go open top. I would only go for this if you're doing it. What's the high? 29, 13, 55. So 55. So put that about 75, something like that. Put that there, and then well, I'd just give it a little bit more wiggle room to start off with. Now, that's what I would do if I was going to do it. Um, some of you might want to look at extended targets with the daily still being looking relatively bullish, so you might bring this up into this area. and then go partial TPs like that. If you're going to do a partial TP here, then because I'd do something like that, 65 to 70% or more in at this area. Okay, so how many of you would be looking at taking that trade? That's it. I'm, yeah, I placed that one now, 70% at TP1. Nice, Anna. Uh, okay, so I will. I'm gonna do 70% rule. Daily looks good. Where are we? Stop loss at entry. In fact, I'm gonna be slightly more aggressive. At, at 5 pips, I'm gonna take half off just because I don't know how profits back. Oh, this office is so hot. This heater is phenomenal. I need AC now. What time is it? 7:03. I tell you what, let's just, instead of waiting for closing half, let's just do that. Well, it's a bit jumpy. And there we go. Right. So, like I said, I'm being uber cautious. So if you got 7 pips as your 70% rule, then you should be at break even now, guys. Who's at break even? I took half off at 5 pips because I wasn't even going to keep the trade open, but it moved a little bit quicker than I anticipated. What we got? 400. Break even, nice one, Anna. Should be very close to. Oh, nearly got to you 10 pips. All right, there we go. Job done. So, don't care what happens now. We have hit daily targets. We're done for the day. Yeah, it's all right. Listen, this is it's a prime example of where I would adjust risk settings because, like I said, we're further away from the initial target and we are close to the wick here was 10 pips and we're close to this cluster here. So it's a little bit of something. It didn't add too much to it, but another $68 into the can all helps. The DAX is having a little bit of a rebound from It's level. So if we can get back above here, uh, we can get back above there. I'm going to change back to TradingView because I hate MT4 for analysis. So this is where we're looking to sell below, right? But look, this was the structure level. If it closes above here on the 30, if it closes above here, next candle wicks down. If you have 20 to 40 points, which we do, we've got 44 points. If it closes anything like it is now, but you've got to wait 23 minutes, guys. So it could, if it's like the other day, like yesterday, it might just jump. In fact, you can use the 15 as well, so you can wait 8 minutes. But it did what, 80, 90 points yesterday in an instant. And to be fair, what's it done now on this candle? 70 points. Uh, yeah, there's no news that's going to affect this. Nothing until 1:30, which is all US related. So, guys, big old Euro Millions tab tonight. 104 million. I just heard an advert, or 107 million. You, you wouldn't even need to trade then. It'd definitely give you a few shillings to trade with, though, wouldn't it? Right, Nasdaq for this afternoon. This is this is I think a must. Uh, let's just get rid of all yesterday's alerts. But the Nasdaq above there looks superb. Nas breakout long. Buys above 20,185. Now, remember, guys, always check your broker data. So if your alert goes off here, then just look at your broker data and place accordingly. Don't trade the price that you write down here, because my price here is very different to the price on the broker. Um, so what we've got coming up, major news, USD. Oh, and it's 1330, 1330, 1330. Okay, this is really looking at a bit. Now, yesterday you saw me do something a little bit different, which was, we could call it dynamic risk or So effectively, where we've seen the old resistance here, when price came back down, we said we're looking for a bottom wick to form, and I entered at a lower risk at this area. Now, the difference between what I did yesterday and where we're looking right now is there was loads of clear space to the left-hand side. Now I just feel like this is all very congested. So it's not an area I particularly want to trade into now unless you're looking at now. So we need it to get above these little structure points where you've got 21, you've got 40 pip range there. So again, it's not superb. And if we look at the wick fill here, we've got no two. You've got a 50 pip range here. I prefer the indexes today, so I think we'll be looking at the indexes. Oh, look at this bad boy. Off we go, sir. So remember what I said this morning earlier? I said we look for price to come down into here and close below, or look for buyers to come in to maybe buy. Um, didn't quite come into that area, but we are getting back above. So okay, so this is where we could apply that methodology because look, we've seen a nice strong impulsive move. If we want to be long, right? If we get above this high. So in order to get long, we want to see a bottom wick formed on the next candle. So the next candle, I'd want to see price coming down, forming a bottom wick. So if it comes down, taps, let's say 23,166, then I'll put in half my risk. One lot in here, and then another lot above the high. But saying that, we've just keeps going higher and higher. Don't think it's going to give us an opportunity. So yeah, I'm gonna pass on this one now, and especially because I'm gonna wrap up in 17 minutes. But that's an option for some of you guys if you're gonna look at it. Um, if you've never done that kind of methodology before, then what I'd say is don't go in at half risk, go in at maybe 25% risk if you're gonna look at doing something like that, and be very aggressive with your stops, okay? Because what you're anticipating is that the market's gonna come down, create a bottom wick. But the issue with this one as well is if you're if you're going to create a buy limit or look to buy here, then you've got to maybe put your stops all the way down here. So the other thing you could do is look at a much lower time frame here. So maybe you see price coming to here and then the 5 minute candle goes down. You use the 5 minutes, it flips to its high. So you're using price action to give you a clue that the movement lower has stopped. Does that make sense, guys? Superb, superb. Right, guys. Um, you've all had an amazing week. So just give me stats for the week, guys. So uh, give me your stats for the week, guys, in percentage for the week. Negative, positive, flat. Just Frankie, try and put it in normal terms. Just a positive or a negative percentage for the week. In fact, let's do the month because that is the trading. In fact, yeah, the trading week did start on Monday. So look, in theory, this is the bottom wick forming. 3.72 after. Okay, so Rich, um, if I was to read 3.72 after that loss, do you know what sticks in my mind? Or what do you think sticks in my mind? 6.7 for Anna. Vic, 5 trades, 3 wins, about break even. No, no, Rich. The When I see 3.72 after that loss, I feel like the emphasis is on the word loss instead of holy shit, this is a fantastic week, 3.72%. Yeah, 3.72 in a week. You'd be lucky to get that in a year in a bank. Lola, 3.5%. I I get it, Rich. Uh, Anna, 6.7%. Phenomenal. Simon, negative. Don't worry, mate. You're going to come back stronger. Um, you did chase the DAX after a huge move. Um, Shears, very good week. Fantastic. That's what I like to hear. So just remember, because you've all had an excellent week, it's Friday today. It's NFP today. Anything can go down. Spreads are going to go crazy. So just, you don't need to trade, right? You don't need to trade, but you could really make it an amazing week. You could make it an average week, or you could make it a week that turns out to be flat. So do it based on your terms. So, um, Simon, you don't beat yourself up, mate. No, I had a I had a shocker the other day, but it's part and parcel. Yeah. Uh, Not on 4 accounts, but on one account. And remember, this one's copied across them all. I lost 2.5K, which is in theory like 10 grand across all accounts. But I could sit there and dwell on it, or I just go, right, dust off, let's go again. You're not going to win every day. You're not going to win big every day. If you win big once in a week, you've done well. If you win 3 or 4 days out of 5, you've done super well. If you make a mistake, it's part and parcel. You make mistakes every day in your life, whether it's driving, whether it's work, whether it's doesn't matter, whether you're in the gym and you do something. You make mistakes every day, but beating yourself up isn't gonna it's not gonna help you do any better. If anything, it's probably you're gonna focus on that mistake, and the more you focus on it, the more you're probably gonna repeat it. What you need to focus on are the things that you do well, and then repeat it. Right. So anyone that looked at this little area, in theory, if you'd have bought live at that point, you'd be about 5 pips, 10 pips up. Yeah, Frankie, 7.91%. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. Frankie's just sharing his stats with me. So yeah, now that's the one, Frankie. Look at this. You guys are killing it. Now, now what you have to do, see, look, this is so if you were doing it, you'd have had, let's say, one lot here, which is now 20 pips up. you could have taken half off for your T1 and your other half going above the highs. There you go. So that would have been your flip order triggered. You'd have had your static entry. This is exactly what I did yesterday in the live stream. Bought here, waiting for the market to create a wick down. Then you've got your flip entry. So, okay, guys. I'm. Ooh, Frankie, I've just realized you are the leader this week. You are the group leader on performance. Anna, you've got competition. Frankie's overtaken you this week. Frankie's made 7.91%, guys. 7.91%. Um, let me see if I can. I'll cover it up. But let me see. I'm gonna cover all the details, Frankie, so people can't see anything. But I will. Is it not that one? Not that one? Not that one? Where is it? How difficult can it be? There we go. Can you see, guys? Can you see the 7.91%? Well done, Frankie. Lovely, lovely. Nothing like a little bit of friendly rivalry within the group. But yeah, well done, team. Some amazing results. Um, on that note, let's call it a day or call it a morning, and I'll see you at. Uh, I'll start about 1 o'clock. I'll start about 1 o'clock because I want to see if we can catch. I'll come in at 12:55 usual time. See if we can catch the pre-market move. How would you check in Global Prime? So that's a copy of software. So all you do, Shias, is go to your account history, right click, select the date period, see what your total profit is, and then work it out as a percentage against your balance. So well done, team. Great results. Keep going. Keep putting in the effort, guys. And it's no coincidence that the guys that are getting the best results are the ones that are showing up to all the live streams, that are doing mentoring and putting in the work. It's no coincidence. So on that note, take your hat off, give yourself a pat on the back, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Bye, 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 bye. And don't forget to share, like, and comment.